we're Elsa and Arlen Salte, the directors and founders of Breakforth Ministries. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We are just like on the edge of our seats. We're bursting with excitement to tell you. So after a 2-year-long wait, we are so happy to let you know.
Just a second.
All right.
This requires a drum roll. With my Egyptian tabla I picked up in Cairo years ago. Remember negotiating for that?
I do.
That was fun.
It was
Maybe
fun.
you'll get a chance to do that, the Egypt people.
Maybe
I shouldn't give up my day job. Okay, we're done.
After a 2-year-long wait of ups and downs, starts and stops, we are so happy to announce to you the dates for Breakforth, Israel, and Jordan. If you are leaving with the main group, we will be leaving on October 24th. And if you're traveling on the Egypt extension afterwards, those dates are November 2nd to 9th. But wait! There's even more exciting news to share with you.
There's more.
There's more.
Are we going to sell Ginsu pocket knives or, Popio pocket fishermen, those kind of things?
Maybe.
You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, not really. Anyway, here's the exciting news. We have been cooped up for so long, you may be able to tell that we're just a little bit unsettled right now. Just a little bit. We will be balanced, or at least Elsa will be balanced by October 2022. Anyway.
Not so much balanced that we don't have some fun.
No, we will have fun. Absolutely. That's part of it. Anyway, October 2022, we said, you know what, after really, by the time this starts, it'll be a 3-year wait. 3 years since the last time. So, we said, you know what, I think a lot of people would like to add a pre-tour onto this, a 4-day pre-tour. So this is what it is. It's called The Life of Jesus, and it follows Jesus being born, so we're going to go to Bethlehem, Jesus when he was being raised, and some things you may not know, including the city of Sepphoris. Anyway, not going to give that away right now. So where he was raised in Nazareth, moving on to Galilee, our favorite place in all of Israel, where he did the primary part of his ministry for 3 years, and then when he comes again. So anyway, we put together this kind of slide presentation with photos, and we're going to talk over top of that and give you an idea of what we're going to do on a day-by-day basis. So why don't you hang with us and watch this if you can, and we'll get Elsa's good-looking face out, my old face. We'll get that out of here, and we'll concentrate on the incredible opportunity that we have.
On day 1, if you fly with a group, you fly from Canada to Tel Aviv, where Hans, Arlen, and I meet you in a nice air-conditioned bus. From there, we'll go straight to Bethlehem. In Bethlehem, we'll visit the Church of the Nativity, the oldest continually used church in the world, built over the grotto of Jesus' birth. Then we're off to the shepherd's field, where it is believed that the angels appeared to the shepherds. Then we'll experience an unforgettable time of worship in a cave in Shepherd's Field, very similar to where Jesus would have been born. And of course, we'll sing Silent Night and Joy to the World a cappella. Then we'll take a short shopping stop where you can pick up olive wood items hand-carved by a small group of artisan Christians in Bethlehem. This supports the rapidly declining number of Christians in Bethlehem. It is also the only place to get the highest quality handmade olive wood carvings that are not made by machines in China. Then it's off to the holy city of Jerusalem to stay in the 4-star Grand Court Hotel. The evening will be a time of rest and eating incredible food.
The next day, we're off to Nazareth. This is where Jesus was raised and declared his mission in the synagogue. We'll start by visiting the world-renowned Nazarene village, which recreates Nazareth in the times of Jesus. It is truly amazing. You'll also enjoy experiencing a lunch based upon a typical meal at the time of Jesus, served by actors in biblical clothing. Then we visit Mary's well, which being the only spring water source in Nazareth at the time, would have been the same well source that Jesus grew up with in carrying water back and forth for his family. And then we'll visit the Church of the Annunciation, where Hans will share a teaching on the prophetical significance of Jesus being raised in Nazareth. Then we're off to Sepphoris, where Jesus and Joseph worked as carpenters or tectons, workers with stone. You'll understand Jesus' reference from Matthew 5:14, where he said, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden." And you'll also understand how a little boy from the small and insignificant town of Nazareth would have learned about taxes, politics, commerce, and communicating with Gentiles.
Then we drive to Galilee, to the town where Mary Magdalene came from, the stunning site of Magdala. Here you will see an ancient synagogue where Jesus would have preached. We can actually walk on the very stones of the ancient harbor where Jesus and the disciples would have walked. Here we take communion and worship. Our accommodations for the next 2 nights are in the Deluxe Hotel and Resort. This is the En-Gev Beach Resort that is perched on the shoreline of the Sea of Galilee. Here you can take a morning or evening swim right in the Sea of Galilee, or just have an early morning coffee with Jesus as the waves lap at your feet. Just so you know, while your friends are freezing back home, the average high in October where we're staying is around 29 Celsius, and the water temperature is around 25 Celsius. That sure beats snow. And maybe like the man in this photo, you'll be able to walk on water, even better than the Apostle Peter.
The next day will be another incredible day. We'll experience an entire day in the Holy Triangle where Jesus ministered in Galilee. We'll go to sites like the Mount of Beatitudes where Jesus shared the Sermon on the Mount. We'll go and see the Great Commission stone where Jesus called his followers to go into all the world. We'll observe Pixner's Cave where it's believed that Jesus went away to a quiet place. We'll go to Tabgha, where Jesus met Peter and called him the rock on which I will build my church. Also included in this will be St. Peter's Fish Lunch, or you can have barbecued chicken if you don't like fish. We'll visit Jesus' home base of Capernaum. What an incredible place this is. You'll see Peter's house, where Jesus lived during his ministry years in the Galilee. We'll then go sailing on a boat on Galilee as we worship and celebrate the faithfulness of Jesus, even in the storms of life. We'll see the Jesus Boat Museum with a fishing boat discovered from the time of Jesus. Do you want to know why the disciples were so afraid in the midst of a storm on the Sea of Galilee? When you see that fisherman boat from that time, you will understand why. And in the late afternoon, we return to our resort on the Sea of Galilee for an evening of great food, relaxation, and maybe even another swim or waiting or quiet time with Jesus by the Sea of Galilee as the waves lap at our feet.
The next day, we go to the ruins of Solomon's fort city of Megiddo, referred to as Armageddon in Revelation. This tell was built on the ruins of 26 different civilizations. High up on the ruins of this incredible site, Hans will share a message about the role of Armageddon in the end times. We will be able to gaze down on the Jezreel Valley, where the armies will gather for the final battle. But we will also look up to the clouds, knowing that our returning Savior may have come as a lamb, but he will return as a conquering king, We will also worship and probably even sing Revelation song. Then we will drive to Tel Aviv to join the rest of the group in the ancient port city of Jaffa, where Jonah fled from God's call and Peter was called to the Gentiles. This will be the beginning of the main tour.
I hope seeing those images and hearing the description inspired you to just get a sense of what's going to be happening over those 4 days. But another reason why you should get really excited is because we were able to book Hans not just for the main tour, but also the pre-tour. And if you know Hans, you know that he is not only a scholar, speaks like 7 languages, but also he is hilarious, and he is a minister with a very strong ministry-oriented heart, and he's hilarious. So the other thing too is we're going to be leading in worship along the way, times of prayer, and hopefully having a whole lot of laughs and forming friendships that last a lifetime.
We want to also remind you that there are very limited spots available for this Life of Jesus pre-tour. And that is very intentional. We want to have a small group with us so that we can really have on a lot of one-on-one experiences together. So that tour will book on a first come, first served basis. And we know we're coming to you at a very busy time of the year, but we pray that God will just open up some opportunities for you to look at the tour and really examine if this is something that God is really calling you to. We know that oftentimes opportunities come and they go, and they don't come again necessarily. And so please, if you feel God tugging at your heart to go to Israel, please take that opportunity to go early and join us for the Life of Jesus pre-tour. The tour will book on a first come, first served basis, and we are asking for commitments by December 30th. We have to have those commitments in by then just because of the limited number of hotels that are available now.
So maybe you're wondering if this is for you. Well, if you've been to Israel before, maybe you're in a situation where you go, I love being in Israel before, and I'm excited about Petra and Wadi Rum and those other places, but you know what? I just really want to make it back to Galilee, and I want to make it back to Bethlehem and to Megiddo and to Nazareth and experience those things, especially with the new discoveries that they've found, like Magdala. Have you ever been to Magdala? All these things are opening up before our eyes, month by month and year by year. So this is an incredible opportunity for you to think about that. Also, maybe you've never been to Israel before, and again, you're excited about the Valley of Elah and Petra, and to go to Beersheba, where Abraham's well is, and all those things like that, and glamping in Wadi Rum. I'm excited about that. But the reality is you're also going, but I really wish I could have gone to the Galilee. I wish I could have gone to Bethlehem. I wish it had gone to Nazareth and Megiddo and places like that. Well, guess what? Don't worry about the jet lag, because you're going to be there already. So maybe you want to just add that on. One of the things that we've really been impacted with, and I'm sure you have too, with COVID and all the restrictions coming and going, and can our family come over or not? How many people can we have in our house? Or do we have to meet in the backyard? Everything changes, and we've just decided over the past year, you know what? When the door opens up, we're taking it. And so maybe that's what you should be thinking about too. If this is God's will, and we don't know if it is, you have to pray about that. But if this is God's will for you, maybe this is the door that opens and you should take it.
Mm-hmm. So we just encourage you to read through the materials as quickly as you can. Ask your questions, pray about it. Natalia's information will be at the bottom, or in the email somewhere. Natalia's information will be. And we need to have that answer from you by December 30th. And so we will be praying for you as you prayerfully consider if God is calling you for that pre-tour.
Absolutely. And the thing is, thousands of years ago, in fact, it went back for so long, when Jewish pilgrims would go to the holy city of Jerusalem, and they'd make pilgrimages. Well, guess what? We're going to do that too. That's pretty exciting. We are going to stand at those walls. We are, from the Second Temple period. And it's so exciting. But anyway, what they would say thousands of years ago and down throughout the centuries is this: next year we'll see you in Jerusalem.
And the people's response would be, next year
In Jerusalem.